Hey, welcome in to Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped. I'm your host, Chris Bates, and boy, what a show we have today. We are at the Pearls, right?
Pearls at the Village Garage.
Right.
Right
And over
on.
there to my right is the ever feisty, spicy
We're gonna
Erica
change
Tanner.
that. We're going to change that.
We're not changing anything. And of course, our guest, Travis Buttle. Thank you so much, Travis, for coming by.
You're welcome.
You
Good
know,
to be here.
I've been getting a lot of questions from viewers and from people I know about our new deer rules coming in. They're regulations, I guess, right? Deer regulations.
Rules, regulations,
Right,
all semantics on the name of what they are.
right. And what better person, though, than to have you here to talk about them? So,
Did we give his title yet? Let's give what his title is.
what's your title?
So, yeah, I'm a state game warden for
Right.
Vermont Fish and Wildlife. Some say it's specialist, some say sergeant. So all basically the same for me.
Right,
Been
right,
here in Bennington quite a while.
right. Okay.
So,
Well, Erica, do you want to start us off with any questions you have about, because I know you're a huge deer hunter.
I am not a deer hunter, so I don't know about the questions to have here. But I did. We were reading over some of these regulations earlier. Let me grab a
Look
hold
at
of
this
that.
mic.
And you were talking about the antlerless.
The antlerless.
Antlerless deer
Yeah.
season.
deer season. And of course, I had no clue as to what you were saying. So, what was the changes that are being proposed or are going to happen in 2026?
Well, that's the biggest
Right.
point is that, and I'm getting a lot of phone calls too.
Right, right.
Most of the wardens across the state these lately have been, that's what in our weekly reports we give, it's like, gosh, when are we going to put out more bullet points? And this is a prime example of how we can get the message out.
Right.
These regulations do not start in 2025. They are 2026 only. And they're all about managing the deer population statewide.
Just hold your mic.
Based
Erica.
on,
Just hold the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hold it up like that.
Just hold
That's
it like
fine.
it's nice. Like a
It's
snake.
live TV, folks.
Right, we are live right now.
So there are
Okay.
management proposals that that we do, which is wildlife management in general.
Right.
It's based on data that we collect over years. It came at the tail end of our last 10-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been looking at this stuff for a while, and we draw what worked and what didn't work over the last 10 years. So there's a lot of work put into it. We did all the public meetings. We took in a lot of that info. And, the biologists and the board did a really good job of taking in that info and the concerns of the sportsmen and women to implement what were the concerns. And we've got the product now.
One of my problems with deer hunting, and I've hunted deer all over, Midwest, out west, the South, pretty much everywhere. And coming from the Midwest, deer out there they're called monsters because they're monsters. There's plenty of food. There's all kinds of stuff for those deer out there to get big. But here in New England, and I'm going to beat up Vermont because I get so tired of hearing generational Vermonters talk about, well, we can't kill does, antlerless, fawns, anything like that because it will deplete the deer herd. Well, I have never even seen one time in the 14 years I've been here that the state of Vermont hunters have even taken 10% of anything, which they need 10%. I believe that is the standard for most states is take 10% of the deer herd. And if you're not going to take does, you're going to really head for some trouble.
Right. Well, management perspectives from 40 years ago when I went through wildlife biology and wildlife management, to what we've learned now. I mean, the white-tailed deer is one of the most studied animals
Right.
Across the country. But the thing that needs to take into most consideration is exactly what the management goals are for each state. And that's why we have all of our different wildlife management areas. They're different food bases, different terrain, different weather conditions,
Right.
and all those things. Those tie into what your management plan is for any population. So, yeah, it's I think the big alarm bell that went off with a lot of folks that weren't tracking was that, you only read the headlines or hear
Right.
the headlines.
Right.
And the headlines were, we're going to kill more does, which, no, we're opening and expanding opportunities for hunters who have declined more than 50% in the last 20 years to harvest the numbers that we need, which is what you're getting back to.
Right.
I can't say it, 10% is what, but that's kind of a general, right?
Right.
And that hasn't changed. Hunters are that management piece. Just like roadkills are a management
Right.
piece that you take in. Natural predation from other critters, bears, foxes, coyotes,
Right.
fisher, so the one piece that we can control is the hunting population.
Right.
So,
And I find it like this isn't just something like, oh, up at the state level, we decided on a whim. This is what we are going to do. This is backed up,
Right.
by
Right.
a lot of data. And it's to manage the health of the herd too. Because if you're not harvesting them this way, they're dying of maybe disease or starvation or other things. So it's not, it didn't just manage to do this overnight, is what I'm
right.
thinking.
Exactly. You're exactly.
But why do you think,
Well,
Travis?
I might just hold it in my hand here.
This is
Stay there.
just hold it up
Let's
there.
see. Oh, we might. I don't know.
It might
We'll see.
stay.
He
So
may have
Travis,
stronger hands.
why do you think though that people that outdoor enthusiasts, deer hunters, right? Why do they just look at something like I'm looking at it right here, and they say, nope, that is not true because I am in the woods one day a week, right?
Well, that's not an answer that
Right.
is really easy to give, right?
Right.
We have different observation skills against any different person out there, right? What I'm looking at on that wall over there, you might not see on that wall over there, right?
Right.
Biggest thing, I've been in here now 29 years, 28 in Bennington specifically. I have seen the terrain, the landscape, the growth of this district change dramatically in that time. The biggest thing, and just going back to management, right?
Yeah.
The big part of managing deer is also managing our healthy forests. If you don't have a food base, you can't manage the animals eating it. Moose in the southern part of the state here, we had large clear cuts that were really young. Our moose population went up and they were healthy, they were doing great.
Right.
5-8 years later, that population of growth of the trees that they were feeding on from those clear cuts went up and out of reach. Our population of moose started tanking
Right.
because they couldn't handle it.
Right.
So, it's all pieced together. It's not one thing like you were just asking
Yeah.
about a hunter saying, I've been in the woods and I don't see any deer. You guys are messing this up.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
It's
gotta
not
look
true.
at so many other factors.
Yeah.
Right? It's
But
like,
they don't think like that.
I've got a knock in my engine on my car. Well, is it a mouse? Is it a bearing? Is it something?
Right.
You got to look deeper at what the management is.
Right.
And I would suspect different regions of Vermont have different numbers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like case in point, one of the things I might mess up the zone. Actually, I'll look real quick. I think it was K1.
Hold your thought. We
Go.
got to take a quick break.
You got it.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be perfect. We'll dive right into this other stuff.
Hey, folks, we're going to be right back. And we're at Pearl's at the Garage here in Bennington. Come on out if you're watching this and come visit us. So we'll be back with more right after this.
How in the hell did you keep track of 8 minutes?
I know, right?
He did.
Welcome back to Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped. We are here at Pearls at the Village Garage in Bennington. Our guest today is Travis Buttle for the Vermont State Game Wardens.
Vermont Fish and Wildlife.
Okay,
and Game
thank you.
Warden. No, you're
It's
good.
such a mouthful.
It is a mouthful, yes.
So thank you for joining us, and of course, everybody knows our co-host here, Chris Bates.
Right, I'm the co-host today. Anyway, we were talking off air, and you brought up a really good topic about does again, and how people want to shoot them with rifles. What is the deal with that?
So the biggest point that raised a lot of concern at the meetings was this idea of we're going to open up harvesting antlerless deer,
Right.
does, to rifle season. And folks just went right back to early 80s when we tried that in the early 80s, and there were 40,000 permits put out, and like 18,000 or 10,000 deer were harvested.
Oh, that many?
Which was, in that day, and folks haven't forgotten that.
I
They
see.
thought that was the demise of Vermont's deer population, but in actuality, we harvest less than that now. But just to be very clear about 2026 regulation,
Yeah.
yes, if you, again, opening this up for opportunities for hunters, if you want to grab your rifle during regular deer season,
Right.
which is also known as rifle season,
Right.
and you take your permit that you've already been awarded to harvest an antlerless deer, then you can go out and harvest an antlerless deer with your rifle during regular deer season.
Right.
It's no different than the permit that you could grab and take your muzzle loader out. And in actuality, it's a permit to harvest an antlerless deer either during muzzleloader season or regular deer season.
Right.
No extra does or
Right.
antlerless deer are gonna get killed.
Right.
They're still gonna be within the management numbers that we're targeting, and that's the big piece. Is it's not gonna be go get an over-the-counter tag for shooting does.
Right.
It's
Like in Illinois. You can buy as many as you want.
well, and in Illinois, they've got a food base that can support that.
It was really funny, just so that people understand here in Vermont, if you ever get out to the Midwest, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, in Illinois, there was 1.7 million deer in the state of Illinois. They only harvested 100,000. That's it.
Right.
So,
Which goes back to what we were talking about earlier. We have more than 50% fewer hunters in the woods than we
Right.
had 15, maybe 20 years ago. And the same numbers of mouths have to come out of the population.
Yeah.
That's just, in case in point, another thing that we've done is we've used the right terminology, expanded some of the archery zones.
okay.
So that expansion of archery zones is we've been working really closely with a lot of our urban areas.
Yeah.
So like Bennington Town, Bennington Village, Rutland Town, Rutland Village, Essex, Burlington, all those areas
Right.
where, the use of a firearm is not really the best thing.
Right.
So we're going in and trying to give people an opportunity from mid-September to till 1st of October to harvest antlerless deer only
I think that's
with
great.
archery equipment. It does multiple things. I mean, we have an overpopulation in our towns because they love to eat the hostas.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They love to eat my
The little
ornamentals.
Right.
buffet.
They're the ticks. It's, if we reduce the population of
Yeah.
deer in there, the ticks are going to go down. Roland Smith up on Whipstock here, he's running a very good pilot program on his own about tick densities on deer and how that's affecting deer populations. Like
Nice.
the moose ticks, affect
Yeah.
the moose populations. And so he's kind of doing an independent study on his own. Phenomenally smart guy, and he's working with a couple of other really good guys in the area. Those are the kind of community efforts that we need together
Right.
to gain that stuff.
So, the other big thing, too, I see that you can get a second buck tag. What is that?
So the easiest way to put it is, yes, we can now allow a second antlered deer tag or buck tag, but the criteria, if we were to go down to buy our license
Yeah.
today for 2026, we would go down and buy a regular deer season tag, which includes a bear tag and your
Right.
regular deer season tag. we would need to buy an antlerless deer permit also, or an archery tag so we can harvest an antlerless deer,
Uh-huh.
and then we can buy our second buck tag.
Ah.
So all three of those things, well, two of those things have to be fulfilled first before you can actually harvest that second buck. The first buck has to be a legal buck, which is
Right.
2 points on one side, one on the other, or 3 points total.
Right.
And then, like if you go to another zone and you can harvest your spike antlered deer or whatever, but you have to harvest an antlerless deer to
get that.
harvest that second buck.
Okay. Well, that cleared it up because, I can't wait to see how many people go, oh, well, they're going, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, it'll happen.
So
It's
when
gonna
you're
happen.
talking about getting the license, they're only good for certain areas, and then you could go on to a next area. So how many deer potentially is a person allowed to harvest in a season in Vermont?
So across all the seasons, any given year, a hunter can only harvest 3 deer.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
you got
I
it.
just immediately reverted back to there was one year we were allowed to harvest 4, and if that changed in the 2026 stuff. But the way we do practices is we look at what are our densities of the animals in those specific zones, those
Right.
wildlife management units. Like we're in Unit N here, and we were talking earlier. You can see Unit P up there on
Yeah.
East Mountain,
Yeah.
and vastly different habitats. So we have a higher density of deer down here that we need to manage for. Unit K, K1, K2, farther north, basically the valley of the Champlain Valley area. So we could get an antlerless deer permit for N, and then go and get another permit for Zone K if we wanted, if they're open,
Right.
So yeah, you have to. Hunters
But
are supposed
total would only be the 3
to. Right.
entire state. You can't
Right.
hop from one zone to another to get.
Yeah, you can't harvest a buck in
Yeah,
Zone
okay.
N and then run up to Zone P and get
Right.
another buck, and so.
So, I mean, with all of this and down 50% with hunters, what is going to happen if the hunters that are out there now are not able to control that deer population? I mean, there's got to be probably measures that are being considered to help manage.
Other states are experiencing that right now. Well, New York, for example, a farmer, if he's having predation issues,
Right.
state of New York will hand him 10 permits, and he can hand those out to anybody he wants, but they have to be antlerless deer only, right,
Okay.
on his property that he manages or whatever. So,
Yeah,
off
it's
the top of my head, yeah,
it's,
other states, it's high numbers of does or
Yeah.
antlerless deer you can harvest.
yeah. So like in the Midwest, what they've done is in Illinois, you can buy your tags for your buck and your doe, and then after you fill those, then you continually buy antlerless tags. $25. You can buy 100 of them if you want, But they are, Erica. That's kind of what they do because a deer herd can double really quick if they don't harvest the right amount because a doe will have mostly twins. So that
If they're healthy.
if they're healthy. So like bear herd. Are we out of time already?
We
He was
are
giving us
wrapping it
he was
up.
giving us a
All
cut the
right.
spin up.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by. It's always great to talk with you. You're always a wealth of knowledge, and I really appreciate it. And we got to have you back for some more stuff.
Let's try and double it back on this.
Yeah, we will.
September-ish.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
good.
Refresh it all
Yeah.
for the current season.
right for the current
Then we'll
season.
hit 2026 in January.
All right, sit tight. All right, folks, we'll be back with more right after this from Pearls at the Garage here in Bennington. And before we go to break, where exactly are we, Erica? Like, the tunnel lot? Is that what they call it?
We're on the corner of Depot Street.
Okay.
If you look it up, Depot Street in Bennington, you'll find it.
All right, folks, we'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome back to Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped. We are here at Pearls at the Village Garage, and now we are going to speak with Doug Coble
Goebel.
from the from the Village Garage Distillery.
You know,
so
I think
welcome to the show.
That's a tough act to follow. Travis
I
is
know.
an extraordinary human being
Right.
with what he does, and I hope people appreciate what he truly does. You know, I know that he was out until the wee hours of the morning on a search and rescue thing, so it's like
Right.
important stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just here to talk booze.
Right. So thank you so much, though, for having us here because, you know, the show likes to give back to the community, and we like to, you know, go to different places around town and Bennington County
And showcase our businesses and
right,
our organization.
and showcase
so
everything.
We
So
do appreciate
this
it.
is really cool. I know you guys got started a while ago. I don't know the exact details, so Erica might know more than I do because she has another job that has
Right.
insight. So, but anyway, take it away.
Well, you know, essentially what you're saying is it's locals supporting locals, which is kind of our mantra here at Village Garage Distillery, whether it's the local grains and local ingredients that we feature in our products, or the local partnership with the Church Street Group and Pearls. You know, we're all about just being as local as we possibly can.
Yeah. And it's a winning formula too.
It really is, because when you're our level of operation, you need every little bit of an advantage as you can get, because we don't have the big marketing budgets that the big brands have. We don't have that type of a war chest. So we rely on neighbors. We rely on friends
Right.
to kind of do a lot of that for us.
So how did this ultimately get started?
So Matt Cushman and Glenn Sauer, they're local Bennington guys that have always kind of had the inkling to do something along these lines. And one day the old town garage was listed for auction or for sale. Glenn went to Matt and he's like, "What do you think? Is this is this the opportunity?" And you know, to spare the minutia of it all, here we are today. They got the building, literally built it from the ground up. They had to take it down to the dirt inside. It's quite the accomplishment, having seen video and stills of that whole construction process, which went on during the pandemic, during lockdown.
Right.
Which, as you know, nothing was functioning normally during that time.
No, including people.
Right.
Including people.
Yeah, right.
So this actually became a necessity for some.
Right.
So talk a little bit about what you guys do offer here.
So we started out with bourbon, which has kind of become our calling card. That's really what we're known for, is our bourbons. But along the way, you know, things that are brown, they get that way from sitting in a barrel. And there's no substitute for time. So while that's happening, you want to be able to put product to market. And so that's where vodka came, and then gin followed, because those are products that you can distill and basically go straight to bottle with.
Oh, I see.
And there's no aging involved.
So what is the time frame from the hopper to the bottle for the gin and the vodka?
I mean, it can vary. It really is, maybe from start to finish. It could be a week. Now, we're very small.
Yeah.
There's myself, who I handle sales, marketing, and events, and then we have Todd Pensino, who handles distilling. And so Todd is handling all of the production. Every bottle you see in the store, restaurant, bars, those are hand bottled, hand labeled, hand sealed. So it takes time. So it takes us a little longer than most. We don't have any sort of a bottling line or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it could, you know, for vodka and for the gin, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks.
Yep.
You know, it really just depends on what the production schedule is like.
And for your bourbons?
So we want the bourbons to sit in the barrels for a minimum of 3 years, if not 5.
Wow.
There's just no substitute for that. And so the rule of thumb for bourbon is your mash bill has to be 51% corn, and it has to go into a new charred white American oak barrel.
Wow.
So as far as
All the stuff I got to learn.
as far as the time frame goes, there's different schools of thought. I heard somebody recently say it can sit in that barrel for 10 seconds and it's bourbon. That's not really how we do things.
Right.
We want the product to be a good quality product that's going to appeal to bourbon drinkers.
Right.
And they're not looking for something that is immature, if you will.
So I got a question then. With all the different bourbons, with the bigger name brands and your bourbon here, how is the taste different? Like, is it because of a barrel? Is it because of the ingredients? How does it all become, like, what makes we'll use Bonfire. What makes your Bonfire different than, a name brand?
So, first of all, you start off with your mash bill,
Okay.
which is your ingredients.
All right.
Now, our mash bill, we're pretty straightforward with it. It's 60% corn, 40% malted rye. Some distilleries will add a small percentage of a third grain, but maybe some wheat, maybe some barley.
Okay.
I see.
And so that will obviously affect the flavor and the characteristics of the bourbon.
Okay.
Now, it also has to do with the climate where it's barreled. So that will impact your flavor profile
See
as
what
well.
goes into this?
I'll tell you what, there's a lot more to it than I ever imagined.
Right. When you go to buy a bottle of this distillery bourbon here, it's not just, oh, here's the end result. It's like it takes from here to here to get to there to go, ooh, I hope this is the right flavor from the last batch.
Yeah, and your heating and cooling, with your climate,
The climate.
that is actually impacting your flavor as well. And you never bottle in warm weather because you're involved in a full expansion in the barrel at that point.
I see.
So you want to wait till the temperatures cool down, so the spirit in the barrel has receded from the barrel.
I got to ask this before we run out of time. I don't want to run out of time yet, but because I could probably talk to you for 2 hours. Is there something special that you do? Like, is there a special glass you have to pour it in? Is there, because I see connoisseurs, oh, it smells great, and I mix it up and whatever.
I wish I had known you were going to ask this question. I would have had what's called a Glencairn glass, which is the traditional like whiskey or bourbon glasses where
Okay.
it's bowed out and then it kind of tapers up to the top. Those are kind of your traditional glass.
Okay.
But you know what? I like to think that we make versatile spirits that can be consumed neat, which is with nothing, or on the rocks, or in a craft cocktail, and it works based on the individual drinking it.
So I think that's the ticket for me when because like for beer, right? I like drinking beer. There's different glasses for different beers.
Sure.
So that's the same for this, but not for like gin or not for vodka, right? It's just
Yeah, not really. I mean, gin
Right.
and vodka you really can throw into a rocks glass with just some ice or something, or a martini glass, and away you go.
The other thing, do you have a question?
No.
Oh, I
but
have one, but go ahead.
We have 1 minute left.
Oh.
So I wanted to make
Okay.
sure that we got our questions in before we lost
Darn it.
Doug to the.
Well, if I could just point out
Yeah.
one quick thing, and that is with our Bonfire smoked
Yeah.
maple bourbon. We're super proud of the fact that we just recently won a silver medal in the San Francisco World Spirits
Oh,
Competition.
that's awesome.
That is amazing, and we have the
Yes,
medal
The
right
medal
there
is
right
on
on
the
the
bottle.
bottle.
I love that.
For a two-person operation, it's a significant accomplishment no matter the size of your operation.
Yeah.
But for a size of operation like ours, it's really mind-blowing.
Wow.
It's amazing, and hats off to you. And like I mentioned earlier, I do love to have a maple old fashioned here. It's just there's something very delicious, very warm. It's my go-to drink when it gets a little cooler out.
Wow.
It warms you up.
This show went by so darn fast, didn't it? So, Doug, how do people find you?
So obviously they can come to 107 Depot Street in Bennington. On the socials, we are at Village Garage, and online we're villagegarage.com. And of course, come eat at Pearls at the Garage. Barbecue,
Barbecue
Absolutely.
is
delicious.
amazing. It's
All right,
amazing.
folks. Man, this went by way too fast, didn't it, Erica?
It did.
Are you guys
Wow.
ready to eat?
ready to
We're
eat? Ready to drink?
I'm always ready to eat. All right, folks. We'll talk to you all next time.